TJ McCue is living the dream, if the dream is to travel the country and live out of an RV for 8 months. But I'd do the same thing if I had the chance.
Big idea is to go around and meet the people who are doing stuff, cool stuff with 3D technology, from 3D design software to 3D scanning to 3D printing.
TJ is a seasoned tech journalist and entrepreneur and a 3D enthusiast. His journey started in San Rafael, California in mid-May at Autodesk headquarters, the main sponsor of his tour. Along the way, he's driven a virtual Ford Mustang and seen 3D mapping drones flying in Toledo. He's also done his own laser scans of buildings and monuments.
And it's sort of a preservation thing, right? We give them the file, and then they can put it up like Google Street View on their website. Yeah. So your consumer then, your visitor, could go in and see that on their own.
Today I'm hanging out with TJ at the Smithsonian Natural History Museum in Washington. A group called the Laser Cowboys from the Smithsonian's 3D digitization program is scanning the bones of a Tyrannosaurus Rex dinosaur.
So one of the outcomes we want to see from this project is actually to be able to make each individual bone downloadable at home. So that means that classrooms and enthusiasts are actually going to have access to the same exact data sets that the scientists at the Smithsonian have access to. So what we're looking at here is a T-Rex humerus. So this is an arm bone, and it's actually about the same size as an adult arm bone. So this is a really cool way to relate to an enormous creature from millions of years ago. And this is something that we can now hold in our hands. Anybody can download these files and print themselves.
Actual T-Rex bones scanned and 3D printed. Just another stop on TJ's unforgettable tour.
It's really awesome and amazing to see what people are doing. If you give people tools, I mean, there's so many low-cost and free tools now. You give them these tools, they iterate on an idea or a design, and they come up with really fantastic things. So one of the guys one of the teams that I met in Pittsburgh, Soul Power Tech, came up with the idea to create an insole for your shoe that charges your cell phone battery while you walk. So, you know, here in the U.S., not a big deal. But if you get outside the U.S., right, 500 million people in the world don't have power in their homes. Yeah. So they've got to walk somewhere to charge. Well, these guys just solved that equation. An insole can't be that expensive for most people. Yeah. And it could charge your phone battery for you.
We've seen some amazing stuff so far, but one of the biggest questions for investors is how big will 3D printing be in the consumer market? I've personally seen the 3D section at CES, the world's largest consumer electronics show, explode over the last couple of years, and it will double again in size for this January's show. But is this just wishful thinking from the industry or a real indicator of the future of the consumer market?
When I started, I was really skeptical that a 3D printer in the home was a good idea. But now that I've met lots and lots of people and talked to people and sort of seen the light bulb go off, absolutely. I think what happens is it's for the kids and the grandkids, right? It's like you want your kids to think in 3D. You want them to know that they can use these tools, and you want them to get proficient. And the reason, you know, it's $200-300 to get a 3D printer, and it gives you the opportunity to mess around with your kids or your grandkids and create something, and it starts a younger mind thinking about what you can do in 3D. And I think that's the big shift that'll happen. I don't think it's so you can print toys and trinkets in your home, or the idea that you'll print everything that breaks. I don't think that's true. But I think there's an opportunity within 3D thinking to be had by having a small, inexpensive printer in your house.
And so, at about the halfway point of his journey, TJ is on the road again, heading to Civil War battlefields, national parks and monuments, even the Grand Ole Opry. He winds it all up in mid-December back in California. If you're an investor, you'll want to be sure to keep up with his adventure at 3drv.com. Reporting from Washington, D.C., I'm Rex Moore with the Motley Fool.